Hello, my dear curious and studious students of surgery. Myself, Dr. Mahesh Chaudhary. I am warm welcoming you in my surgery lecture series. This surgery lecture series contains entire surgery with anesthesia, with radiology, with orthopedic. So stay tuned with us. Let's start our surgery lecture series. Welcome, my dear students, in our surgery lecture number 126, that is the complications of the fractures. In this lecture, we will explore the complications of the fracture, compartment syndrome, avascular necrosis, that is the AVN, injury to the joints, dislocation and subluxation, Siddon's classification of nerve injury, and non-operative methods of treatment. All these points are covered in this lecture. Dear students, always remember this, the orthopedic surgery is a vast subject. Here I tried to calculate and compose all the points in very short notes for you. Now, start with me the complication of the fractures. The classifications of these complications of fractures are immediate complication, early complication and late complication. First, immediate complication. This is subdivided by two types, systemic and local. First is the systematic, hypovolemic shock, and local immediate complications of fractures are injury to the major vessels, injury to the muscles and tendon, injury to joints and injury to the viscera. These are the local immediate complications of the fracture. Second is the early complications of fractures. These are also subdivided by two types, systemic and local. First, systemic early complications in fractures are hypovolemic shock, ARDS, for fat embolism syndrome, DVT and pulmonary embolism, aseptic traumatic fever, septicemia in open fractures, and crush syndrome. And local early complications in the fractures, that is the infections and compartmental syndrome. These are the complications of the fracture. Rules of threes in the fracture, that is the shock, fat embolism, pulmonary embolism, emboli. Shock causes collapse in the first 3 hours, fat embolism on the third day, and pulmonary embolism in the third week. These are the rule of 3 for the complications of the fracture. In first 3 hours shock, in first 3 days or on the third day fat embolism, and in the third week pulmonary embolism. Next complications of the fracture are late complications. These are the imperfect union of fracture, delayed union, non-union, malunion and cross union. And other complications are AVN, avascular necrosis, shortening of the limb, joint stiffness, Sudeck's dystrophy, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, osteomyelitis, ischemic contracture, myocytic ossificans and osteoarthritis. All these are the complications of the fracture. Now, next point of this lecture is the compartment syndrome. The limb contains muscle in the compartments enclosed by bones, fascia and interosseous membrane. Rise in pressure within these compartments due to any reason may jeopardize the blood supply to the muscles and nerves with the compartment. And the treatment of this compartment syndrome is fasciotomy. Very rarely fasciectomy necessary. Dear students, here is a good picture showing the compartmental syndrome, clearly showing that how the blood supply to the muscles and nerves with the compartment is jeopardized. And here is another image showing the compartmental syndrome. This is the typical picture of the compartmental syndrome. Superficial skin is, overlying skin is discolored. Now, the next point of this lecture is the malunion. Malunion means a fracture does not unite in proper position. That is called the malunion. Treatment of the malunion: osteoclasis, retracting the bone, redoing the fracture surgically, corrective osteotomy and excision of the protruding bone. This is the treatment in malunion. Now, for the shortening causes malunion, crushing and growth defect. These are the causes behind the shortening of the limb, and treatment is shortening less than 2 cm compensated by shoe raise, and if the shortening more than 2 cm, operative is correction of angulation. Here is the ELISA root technique is the best for lengthening the fractured limb or shortened limb. Now, the next point is the avascular necrosis, site and cause. If there is a head of femur is necrosed, then the fracture of NOF, neck of femur, post dislocation of hip. This is the cause behind the head of femur necrosis. And if there is a fracture through the waist of scaphoid, the site of the necrosis is the proximal pole of the scaphoid. And if the body of the talus is necrosed, then it is due to the fracture through neck of the talus. Dear students, here is a picture on your screen showing the avascular necrosis of the hip joints. First image showing the healthy hip joint, blood supply is good And in the second image, avascular necrosis is clearly seen. The blood supply of the hip joint, the head of the femur is hampered. Here is another image showing the head of the femur, femoral head is how the in avascular necrosis it is being osteomyelitic changes is there. This is the another image showing the AVN, avascular necrosis of the head of the femur. Now the treatment of AVN: delay weight bearing, revascularization procedure by using vascular bone graft, excision of avascular segment of bone, excision of followed by replacement and total joint replacement or orthodesis. This is the treatment in AVN. Next point is the myositic ossificans, post-traumatic ossification, ossification of the hematoma around the joint, formation of a mass of bone and restricting joint movements. This pathology may take place in the myositic ossificans. Treatment is surgically excision of bone mass. This is the line of treatment in the myositic ossificans. Now the next point is injury to the joints, that is the dislocation and subluxation. The ligament gives the static stabilize to the joints and the muscles gives the dynamic stabilize to the joints. Then what is the difference between the dislocation and subluxation? Dislocation means articular surface are wholly displaced, no contact between them, means two bones are not contact with each other, that is the complete dislocation. And subluxation means the articular surface are partially displaced only, partially contact between them, means two bones or the joints of two bones are partially contact with each other. Classifications of this injury of joints are traumatic dislocation and pathological dislocations. This is the two types of the dislocation: traumatic dislocation and pathological dislocation. Dear students, here is the image on your screen. You are seeing the healthy joints clearly seen. The knee joints is there, femur and quadriceps muscles are clearly seen, patella is there, patellar tendon and tibia and fibula is clearly seen. And in the subluxed state, the quadriceps muscles are slightly dislodged and there is subluxation and dislocation. There is a trochlea is displaced and the tear of the ligaments and the muscles is clearly seen in the third image. Now the complications, early complication and late complications of the injury of the ligaments. In the early complications, recurrence, myositic ossificans, persistent instability and joint stiffness. These are the early complications in the injury to the joints. And the late complication, recurrence, osteoarthritis and avascular necrosis takes place in the late complication of the injury to the joints. Now fractures in children. Fractures in children are different due to growing skeleton, spongy bones, loose periosteum, healing of fractures, the process of healing of fractures, site of fractures and remodeling process. These are makes difference in the fracture of children. Now nerve injury due to the fracture, there are three types of neuroma: neuroma in continuity, end neuroma and side neuroma. Here is the image clearly showing first neuroma in continuity and end neuroma, and third is the side neuroma. Neuroma in continuity means the nerve is continue but the neuroma is develops, and end neuroma is means the nerve is cut and at the end of the nerve there is a neuroma develops, and side neuroma means the partially the nerve is connected but there is a development of the side neuroma. This is the nerve injury may be happen in the fracture in children. Now the second last point of this lecture is the Sedan's classification of nerve injury. There are three types of nerve injury in general, that is the neuropraxia, axonotmesis and neurotmesis. All these are we are already learned in our previous lecture of the diseases of the peripheral nerves. Now foot drop. Foot drop means the peroneal nerve palsy, foot drop due to the peroneal nerve palsy, binging of scapula due to the long thoracic nerve palsy, and policemen taking tip. This is due to the upper branchial plexus, that is the C5, C6 and C7. If there is a radial nerve injury due to the various fractures of the radius and ulna or a humerus, the wrist drop may be developed due to the weakness of the dorsiflexor. And if there is a median nerve injury, apeth thumb or pointing index or carpal tunnel syndrome may develop. Apeth thumb due to the paralysis of the pollicis muscles, pointing index due to the paralysis of the flexor digitorum superficialis, and carpal tunnel syndrome due to the median nerve injury. And if there is a ulnar nerve injury, there is a CAR test should be performed. Dear students, here is a good image on your screen. You are watching the Sedan's classification of nerve injury. First is the neuropraxia, the partially tear or partially lacerated nerve. Second is the axonotmesis, deeply lacerated, partially cut nerve. and neuromaxis means complete cut of the nerve. This is the Sedan's classification of nerve injury: neuropraxia, acromegaly, and neuromaxis. Dear students, here is another classification of nerve injuries by the Sunderland in 1955. There are 5 types or 5 stages of the nerve injury. Now the next point is the sign of regeneration of the nerve, that is the Tinel sign, gently tapping over the course of nerve from distal to proximal. A sensation of current or hyperesthesia is felt in the area of the skin supplied by the inhaled nerve. This is the sign of the regeneration, Tinel sign. Motor examination and electrodiagnostic test should be performed to know the regeneration of the nerve. Now the electrodiagnostic test should be performed. Electrodiagnostic studies, electromyography for the nerve in the nerve injury, normal muscles, the electromyography rest, and if there is a little activity, it fluctuates, and if there is a full activity, it fluctuates morely. Denervated muscles, interference pattern is there, and if myopathy is developed there, then the defibrillation potential is there. Normal nerve conduction velocity of motor nerve is 70 meters per second, and here is we can clearly test the injured nerve or repaired nerve or the muscles by the electrodiagnostic studies. Now non-operative methods of treatment, this is the last point of this lecture: rest, support, physiotherapy, cold therapy, and heat therapy. These are the non-operative methods of the treatment in the injury to the ligaments. Heat therapy is surface heat and deep heat. Exercise therapy, joints mobilizing exercise, passive joint movements and active joint movements, continuous passive mobilization. These should be performed for in the exercise, joint mobilizing exercise. Second is the muscle strengthening exercise, static or isometric exercise, dynamic or isometric exercise should be done. Traction, massage, hydrotherapy, occupational therapy should be applied for the muscle strengthening exercise in the rehabilitation treatment of the injury to the joints, ligaments and fractures. Drug should be used: analgesics, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial drugs, hormone therapy, specific drugs should be taken, and cytotoxic drug. Now manipulation, correction of deformity, stiff joints and relief of pain. Manipulation should be done for the correction of deformity, to mobilize the stiff joints and for the relief from the pain, and if necessary there should be radiotherapy should be given. Now the operative methods: osteotomy, cutting off bones. Now here is the image, you can clearly see the normal bone. The angulation osteotomy is clearly seen by the dotted line, and third image showing the displacement osteotomy, and the fourth image showing the derotation osteotomy. These are the operative methods of cutting of bones, 3 types of the osteotomy. Then arthrodesis, fusion of bone which forming the joint to eliminate any motion at the joint. This is the arthrodesis. Types of the arthrodesis are intra-articular, extra-articular and combined. These are the 3 types of arthrodesis. And arthroplasty, operation for constructions of a new movable joints. These are also 3 types, subclassified by 3 types: excision arthroplasty, hemiarthroplasty, total replacement arthroplasty. These are the methods, operative methods. Then bone graft. The bone graft is also 3 types: autograft from self-iliac crest, allograft from another human being, and xenograft from other species. These are the 3 types of bone graft: autograft, allograft and xenograft. Dear students, here is I tried to make it short of these points. You should definitely refer the textbook of orthopedic surgery. And here is the end of our surgery lecture number 126, that is the complication of the fractures. Thank you.